Grand Rising.
Grand Rising and peace, everybody. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Wake up. Wake up, everybody.
We are really happy to be here. Yeah, I always want to say that, like, since I can. We're very happy to be here. Coming to America One. Please grab some water. So important for your health. If you
Peace and blessings,
hydrated.
family. Good morning.
Good morning.
Peace.
Oh, wait a minute.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Oh, okay.
All right. Welcome, everyone.
Yes.
Welcome, Marie.
Abimbola,
Peace and blessings.
Sister Candace.
always in the house. Love you.
Jacqueline.
Good morning.
Welcome, of course, the wonderful Shawnee.
A double dose of Teresa.
For real.
So-
Welcome back.
Morning. Morning.
Morning.
And that's Teresa Scott as well.
What's going on, Mama Erica?
All righty. Oh, Sister
Out
Martine.
there. Yeah. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Grand Rising. Welcome.
Good morning, everybody.
Neff.
Building.
Yeah. Yes.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together, together.
All right. Grand Rising again. Well,
What's up? What's up? All right. We're back. Back in the building.
word. Part 2 of the Rona.
What we gonna do?
What we gonna do?
What we gonna do?
So we'll do just a brief recap for Monday and then we'll get into today. So we spoke, well, last we left off in the world of what is going on around here. So I feel like Thanos snapped his fingers for real. Sometimes I'm like, what happened, you know?
All right.
We talked about the importance of early intervention should you receive a COVID diagnosis. Nobody wants that, and prayerfully, I know some people have dealt with that. But in the event that that happens, and that's a whole thing too, right? The whole stigma, you know, it's a virus. There's a whole stigma with it. It's a virus. They've been around forever. They're doing what they do. You know, if you saw a virus driving an Uber, it'd be questionable, but they mutate. This is what they do. It's been made into
They're already questionable.
right.
So,
Who knows, right? With these self-driving cars, it might be, you
I
know.
Nobody. Nobody in the driver's seat. Right?
But yes, should you receive a diagnosis, early intervention is really important, and we see that as a way that perhaps could have helped a lot of people if there was more early intervention. And our perspective, we are doctors of traditional Asian and Chinese medicine. And so we're talking from our scope of things. And so our medicine is very much about prevention. And so for us, and for many people, for it to have been like, okay, this is what you got going on, go home, with something that's, potentially fatal, kind of made our eyebrows raise a bit. But that was what was being offered. So you can demand for something. If you're a Western medicine person, don't just get sent home, and you don't have to take whatever, but it's good to ask for something. And Bishara has some magnificent herbs that really help people in a crunch, frontline workers and all of that. So people who weren't I believe a lot of us, we're frontline workers, whether we were given that title or not. And then we talked about, secondly, detoxing, to lessen the toxicity generally for our health, but also as a method for helping to lessen the toxic burden on our bodies from those just generally, and as an option or as something to think about for those who are vaccinated.
And also to support your immune system. The less that your body is burdened with toxins, the more intelligence your body has to work. And it's our own immune system given by the Creator to fight off this and, this current situation that's going on, and anything else that might be going on, has been going on, and will be going on within the body, whether, it's a pandemic out there or not. Every moment of the day, our body is fighting from hostile takeover from whatever organisms, bacteria, virus, whatever might be going on. So, we are, what to say, something wonderfully made. What's the Bible verse? You know what I mean? But yeah, we're miraculous in our body's ability to heal itself. We just need some assistance. Excuse me. Some assistance sometimes from ourselves with lifestyle, sleep, diet, nutrition, herbs, water, proper mindset, all of those things. But yeah.
Yeah, we were also saying that with the importance of detoxing, that there are 80,000 chemicals that have been registered for use. And there actually, I believe it's 167 that have been found within the human body. I'm not saying everybody has these, but that aren't necessarily related to the person's employment. So let's say, for instance, you have someone who's a painter and they may have, some of the chemicals that's in paint. That would make sense. But if you have somebody who's like, I've never painted in my life, and somehow it's ended up in their system, that's significant. So the detox is important. And I offer one to my patients. I usually suggest once to twice a year, ideally twice, fall and spring. But I have a 28-day that I'm offering. So those details went out, but you can always check the link tree if you're interested in that. So moving on to today, we're going to be talking about prevention, just overall, because that was early intervention, but we're going to be talking about prevention, and then we're going to be talking about who the real culprit may be in all of this.
Right, Scooby-Doo, pull a mask. Wasn't for you meddling doctors.
Wow, that's a joke. We love the doctors. Hey.
I'm talking about us too.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, all together. Okay.
Exposing it, I mean.
Yes. So in terms of prevention, I'm really curious to know what have you been doing to help yourself stay healthy since the pandemic began? Like, I know Woo is crucial in this. Like, can you imagine the pandemic without Woo? Like, can you imagine where your minds, what would be going on without Woo? So we're so thankful. We know we've had this. I'm just curious to know, specifically in terms of protecting yourself from COVID. I know there's the masking, hand washing. Are there things that people have been doing?
Put that in the chat. Mhm. Please put into the chat.
Yes,
what you've been doing.
please, and we'd love to hear. If anyone can read that out to us, and if there's
Yes.
anybody who wants to come off mute to share, we'd love to hear.
All right, doctors, I am here. I myself said without woo, I would be down a conspiracy rabbit hole. Candace says exercise every other day. K Sweetness says I've been drinking much more water and I've been taking zinc. Candace also said getting 7 hours of sleep.
Yeah,
Beautiful. All of that.
for real.
All of that.
Please continue. Post and yell it from the rooftops, everything that you're doing too.
Yes. Is there a way to know about, or anybody in the Facebook group? Anything?
On Facebook, they're quiet so far. No one has.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So yes, all of that is amazing and excellent. The exercise, we need that. It's really important for moderating stress, right? Like that is so important. There's positive stresses, right? Like I know somebody who just, purchased a home. They are stressed out, even though it's a positive thing, right? And then somebody else, who may be going through like a real, like a genuine hardship, and it's a negative stress. And even though the positive stress helps, is beneficial to the body, in some levels, the body still registers it as a stress. So exercise is really, really important. Word, stress is stress. Water, yes, I emphasize to my patients to make sure that you're getting half of your body's weight in room temperature fluid ounces. Everybody likes to come on with this 8 glasses a day, but really 8 glasses a day is for the person who's 128 pounds. So you need to, what water you need is based off of your body, right? And so also if you're someone who eats a lot of vegetables, there is some water content in that. So you can go off of that, but most of us are dehydrated, and the water is extremely important for keeping our bodies in an ideal state. Zinc is excellent.
So with the water, just to explain when Dr. Danett says half your body weight in water. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you want to be drinking about 100 ounces of water, which is a little bit more than 3 liters, which is about 3 liters of water, actually. So, you can do the configuration for your weight.
Thank you for that. I'm going to add 2 things into the mix. Well, 3 things into the mix. So with stress, it's important to make sure that you're having whatever your daily practice is for that, meditation, whatever helps to decrease stress for you. We do Qigong, which is a phenomenal activity, like phenomenal ancient exercise, and also breathing techniques. So I know people know about different breathing techniques. Yes. I know people know about different breathing techniques. I think that's really important, especially as we're coming into the fall time, because in our medicine, we say that's the time of the lungs and the large intestines. And so making sure that your respiratory tract is clear is important. So I emphasize that. And then also there is a doctor that we've been following who is actually really into vaccines, but just not this one. And he's been observing a lot in terms of what the dentists have been doing. And one thing that we do here very consistently is brushing our teeth with Listerine. And throughout the pandemic, it seems like the dentists were working a lot and they didn't really have cases, and they attribute it to what they've been doing, which is making sure to keep the mouth clear from the different, pathogens and bacteria. So we all brush with Listerine. when we come in the house. And our son at first was like, what? Let me smell it. Are you kidding me? I'm like, boy, growing up, we used to have to, we used to have to cook with this stuff. I didn't say that, but I could. We didn't cook with it, but it is something that's very cost effective that is being recommended by this doctor as prevention. And I think that it's really important that we keep our ears open for prevention, because I don't really feel like that's being talked about. Vaccine is being pushed, but it doesn't necessarily prevent. It can help from things getting more serious, for certain, but in terms of what the CDC has put out, doesn't necessarily prevent
infection, right? It doesn't prevent infection.
Right. And we still don't know all about the different things that viruses do in terms of the mutation. So I think that is a great and simple way. And then I will also say we've been using these herbs called thunder pearls. They're not just readily available, but they are really great for helping our bodies do what they're supposed to do. They help to balance out the terrain of our gastrointestinal system, which is a very, very, very important part of our defense. And, people have been able to travel and do different sorts of things and get, and get negative test results. So I can't say all of how, I won't go into all the details of how that works. And I'm not saying, hey, you take this, but then, you just stay hugged up with someone who's positive that, that you wouldn't get it, but you have to obviously be smart with it. But these herbs have been really phenomenal. And I really think that that is what we have to do is we try to use a sickness or an event to make ourselves better from it, right? Like if we're going to take something, then it needs to be helpful to us, right? For a lot of people, like the mental relief from getting the vaccination has helped them tremendously, right? Doing different things, we have to make sure that we, stay active in our health. So,
and also, like I saw Sister Jacqueline on here mentions another thing that we've been doing a lot also has been the nasal rinse using the neti pot, and also I like one that's called the neti med, which is actually a squeeze bottle where like the neti pot you got to put it in, find this crazy angle and hope it don't go up into your eyes and ears and brain. I see Jacqueline laughing because we've all experienced it. But it's a squeeze bottle, and with the neti pot, you use like a saline solution, which is the same. Our bodies aren't just pure water, it's saline, and it rinses out the nasal cavity. Because, as you all may know, like the COVID, it first lives up in the nasal cavity before it migrates down into the lungs, and so you want to. I was rinsing it out because. I made a joke, last year when everything was locked down, I didn't stay home one day because, I was out, not out in people's homes, but, making sure I was getting my herbs and stuff and literally on like a scavenger hunt and just preparing a lot of stuff. And so I was out in the world. And so making sure for our health and my health, of course, that I was making sure on a daily that I was rinsing out my nasal cavity. And one of the things too, I found with a lot of folks that were diagnosed that I dealt with, that's one of the main recommendations in addition to the herbs and some of the other things was to get a neti pot to rinse out their nose to make sure that whatever might have been living in there was helping to get out and get rinsed out the body. So I found that to be really crucial. And it's good for allergies and folks, you have all sorts of stuff in there anyway. Dust and could be responding to your body, could be reacting, have an allergic response to what's in the environment. A lot of people have allergies and stuff. Pollen and dust and things could be in your nose. And so you want to rinse that out, which is a side note coming into this season, folks get hay fever and things coming up in the fall. That's something that you can start doing now, is to rinse out your nasal cavity with the neti pot and preparing your body now, getting rid of any excess mucus so that when this allergy season starts to kick in again in the next couple of months, the next couple of weeks actually, when you start sneezing or whatever, or people don't think you got the Rona around them.
Yeah, you can't sneeze anymore. A lot of
You
human
can't
function.
do anything.
You gotta just look like you ain't never had nothing.
Go into convulsions before you go something around. Just kidding. Yeah.
So yeah, as Bishara was saying, like it's interesting because of the salt water and we're like the earth. We're microcosms of the earth. So we have the same makeup. And so it's really important, this whole notion that our bodies, as he was saying earlier, are equipped, right? Not every battle do we want to take on, right? But we're strong. So so which brings us to our next point here, which is supposed to be wrapping up, but we have to do this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so we've been making this joke, or I've been making this joke, and maybe it's not funny, but you gotta laugh, right? One of my favorite quotes from Tribe Called Quest. I really don't know. I guess I laugh to keep from crying, right? There's so much going on, people killing, people dying, right? So what if, right, is so healing. What if COVID was an inside job? Now, not talking conspiracy theories, although we could do that rabbit hole, Tiffany, on the low one day, right? But, COVID has been getting like all of this, blame for a lot. And COVID has wreaked havoc. Like COVID has like done some stuff. What if COVID wasn't working alone? What if COVID had some people on the inside who was working for it that was helping it to do the damage? Because, all we've seen is COVID this, COVID that, COVID this. But what if there was more to it than that?
And what if that inside job was you?
Ooh.
We know.
Usual suspects all over.
I know, right? For real. Usual suspect in the mirror. US is a very, I guess you could say, sick country, or a lot of folks have just different diagnoses before this already. You could just look outside, walking down the street, people have all sorts of stuff going on. Some of us ourselves, we know our family members, different health conditions that we have. And that, there were a lot of underlying conditions, like with the vaccines, just to talk about that. People are taking this as almost like the cure, where when you look at the CDC director, speaking for the CDC, they're saying that their goal for the vaccine is to prevent hospitalization and death. The vaccine doesn't prevent getting infected or infecting other people. So I just want to continue to put that out there, because there's like this big divide now, almost like a civil war in the US on online social media and families, where people are like, look, I'm not coming over, mommy, I'm not coming over, daddy. You can't come over to the house unless you're vaccinated. Where again, a vaccine is for you. It's not to prevent infection from other people. And remember that it doesn't prevent you from getting infected or infecting other people. It just prevents if someone is infected from being hospitalized.
Just a quick time check that it's 7:30, but we're gonna keep flowing for a bit longer, if that's okay.
Right. And so I think that's okay. Yeah. And so we good? Right. Yeah. All right. And so again, there were many underlying causes. In fact, the CDC just released a paper July 1st called Underlying Medical Conditions and Severe Illness Among 540,667 Adults Hospitalized with COVID-19, March 2020 to March 2021. And what it showed was that there were frequent underlying conditions that were attributable to severe risk of COVID infection. So I had a lot of folks last year just being a resource that were infected with COVID. But, you know, the spotlight that all of us heard about and were worried about were for ourselves or family members, friends, loved ones that were hospitalized and also, unfortunately, even passed. And so it was found that 94, excuse me, it was found that 94.9% of people that were hospitalized had at least one underlying medical condition. Of those medical conditions, just to give you some statistics, about 50.4% had essential hypertension. 49.4%, another 50%, had disorders of lipid metabolism. So that's stuff like high cholesterol, high triglycerides, a condition called hyperlipoproteinemia, and things like that. Another 33% were obese. Another 32% had diabetes with complication, 25% coronary heart disease and other heart disease. Matter of fact, there were about 18 underlying conditions, but those were like the top ones. So people that were hospitalized, that percentage of people had those underlying conditions. And then the strongest risk factors of death, the strongest risk factor of death was obesity. So folks that were obese had a 30% higher chance of dying from COVID when hospitalized. Then you had another 28% of folks that with the strongest risk factor of death who had anxiety and fear-related disorder. So people that had those sort of things. But the interesting thing that they found that it might not have been necessarily the mental health aspect, but the medications that people are on for fear and anxiety-related conditions have a side effect of suppressing the immune system. So the meds actually weaken their immune system, that if they were hospitalized with COVID, then they had a higher chance of dying. People that had diabetes with complication or like uncontrolled diabetes had a 26% higher. And then chronic kidney disease, other neurological issues, say like Alzheimer's and dementia. Unfortunately, they had lesser care, chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder, COPD, all the way down. So there were about 18 different conditions. And so with all of this, we never heard about, and then also if folks had multiple conditions, 10 or more conditions, they had like a 382% higher chance of dying when hospitalized from COVID. So again, diabetes, obesity, chronic kidney disease, hypertension, immunosuppression, these are all the underlying things that were going on. And so I remember when everybody was buying food, we didn't know if the world was going to shut down, if we were going to be able to get any food, and everybody like bum rushed the supermarkets to buy up all the toilet paper. And so, I was in there making sure that, we had stuff that could hold for a couple months if possible. So I was in there getting all of like the gourd vegetables, stuff like the pumpkins and the winter squashes and sweet
Lentils.
potatoes and lentils and quinoa, rice. And I'm looking at other people online, their carts, and it was filled with snack cakes and soda and junk food. And
And comfort foods. We're just gonna do a quick time check. So I know we usually end around 7:30. If y'all could rock with us, we're gonna do about another 15 minutes for those who are able to stay on.
Yep. And so, yeah, we haven't heard anything around, prevention, around, as like I say, the CDC. I'm just quoting them because they're an authority. And so much of what's going out are just folks repeating comments and commentary on social media or the news, and people are just repeating things as if that's fact just because they heard it so many times. I repeat, the CDC, because like I said, they're giving out standards for care. Last year, it was just the PPE, mask, and gloves, and wash your hands, and stay home. Social distancing, of course. And this year is, the vaccine. And so there are other things that we can do in terms of maintaining our health, because a lot of these underlying conditions, they also have a side effect of, one, just overworking the body, and also suppressing the immune system. And also people are on a lot of medication, and we all know the side effects of the medication. We see the commercials on TV where they say, ask your doctor if ... is right for you. And then side effects may include ... And folks may be on 3, 4, 5 different meds, and all of that have side effects on their own. And then when folks were exposed to COVID, unfortunately, it was something that their body wasn't able to handle. I say it with full due respect, but from my experience last year, COVID was like a punk. Because once I got folks herbs and different things, for the majority of people, even people that were really sick, it was backing off of them in less than a week. I had one nurse, I think she caught COVID like 2 or 3 times last year. And, she was an essential worker. And so she was really in a rush to get back. And so she was feeling better in less than a week. And they didn't tell her to stay home 14 days. I think maybe they did, I forgot. But she kept going back, and we were able to help her stay healthy. And so just to give some other statistics.
A couple of questions people had in here.
Okay, cool. Okay. So we'll get into questions, and then I'll get into a couple more statistics.
Yeah. I just want to say this right quick also, that this so much is in alignment with yesterday, with the beautiful, with what happened yesterday beautifully in Blue, and just looking at health disparities.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. And so a lot of this is, talk about how our people have been like disproportionately affected. And so with all the healing that's going on, this is a part of it. Like what we deal with our health is a result of the undealt with and unhealed, I believe, parts of how racism and oppression have affected us. So let's look. I know there were a few people with hands up. All right, we're gonna go to Teresa.
Morning. Thank you so much for bringing this. The one thing that I say about the vaccinated and not vaccinated, I feel like there is a war going on with us. And like I was talking to a friend of mine, he's in another state, and he didn't have a mask on. So I said to him, I was like, why, don't you have a mask on? He was like, he told me to mind my business. And I said, well, but, a lot of people, because they got vaccinated, they feel like they don't have to wear a mask. And I feel like, he's exposing himself to something that he doesn't know. It's like they just feel because they got the vaccine that they're invisible. And a lot of people come up saying they're still getting COVID, even being hospitalized. Like Jesse Jackson got it; he's in the hospital. That fighter, he got it. So quite a few people still get it. So some people feel like they're invincible. And so when you say you don't want to do the vaccine, then you're a criminal. But as long as I could do without it, I plan on doing it. But even at my insurance company, like they're trying to put pressure, they're putting pressures on my caregiver that she has to get it. So she had to get it. And to be honest with you, I felt a little uncomfortable with her getting the vaccine, in my house now. I'll be honest with you, because I don't know what happens, but I have been taking a lot of herbs and I am overweight, but thank God I've been working on myself, a lot, to get my weight down, and I have lost some weight, but I also have been eating a lot better. And especially with the fruits and vegetables and taking a lot of herbs. So I really believe that's what saved my life, is because, and then I just had my mindset that whatever came, that I was going to fight it, because I just don't, I feel like you said the medications that we're taking has affected my immune system. And I don't think that it's fair that the doctors are not explaining all this stuff to you when they put you on these medications, and they don't, explain the side effects and how it does affect your immune system and different things. And when you go to confront them, they was like, my doctor be looking at me like, well, I told my sister, my sister's a nurse, so he was like, well, your sister needs to be your nurse. I said, well, she could be my doctor. She would be. So, that's okay. But, I just, like, he knows I'm not going to take certain things, and I'll just tell him I'm not doing it. And so he just, okay, Miss Scott, no problem. So, but if you're not that forceful with them, then, they would just try to give you every pill. And I don't like that. And before, I used to take a lot of pills, and I'm not taking all the pills now, and I feel 10 times better since I started eating a lot of fruit and herbs.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'll just say, you mentioned about this on Monday, patient-centered medicine. Our goal, we're not here to put down medications, because some of them save people's lives. And I think that it's really about the person and what their needs are at a particular time. Some people go on medications and maybe they don't need them for an extended period of time. Maybe they need them for then. It's all about what benefits are going to outweigh the cons. What are the pros versus the con, the health benefit ratio. So it's in no way to say, oh, medications are bad. My dad, God rest his spirit, lived to be 88. And I know that some of it was definitely the medications and Western medical interventions. And then I also know it was his walking and his garlic that he took every day and his outlook on life. So, it's really.
And he was getting treatment from you too.
And he was getting treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there was that too. All right, let's see, Martine. Sister Martine's in the house. Hand up.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Martine Malova is your registered nurse here.
All
Righty
right.
then. All right.
I just want to, I love the information. I'm not here to debate or anything, but I did want to make something clear that I heard you guys say. Because a lot of times too, when we speak, we have an intention.
You breaking up.
Martine, if you could disconnect and reconnect or write your comment in the chat, we would appreciate it. Sweetness had her hand up as well.
It will never.
Yeah, you're still breaking up,
Sister
Martine.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
It was like right at the bottom. What's she saying? What's she saying? Okay.
So, Kate Sweetness, if you would ask your question, and we'll see if we can get Martine back.
Yes, Grand Rising. I didn't have a question. I wanted to contribute to the conversation and share that, I go to the doctor and I do listen to the doctors and they make suggestions. And I always remind the doctors that you can't service me without me. So if you're not asking me questions, I go to the doctor and nobody's asking me, so what did you eat? Right now, I have there's a situation going on with incontinence. So you're not even asking me how much I take magnesium. Because after the hysterectomy, my metabolism shut down. So I started taking magnesium and it's been helping. However, something else arrived. So they didn't even ask me how much magnesium. They said, well, take less. You don't even know if I'm trying to overdose on it. So the thing what I'm sharing is that we have to be present when we go, not believing that the remedy is in the bottle. It's not in the pill bottle. And my husband used to think that, you know, if I take a pill, the pill they tell me to take, then I'm well. And what I found out after having COVID is that my body speaks volumes if I would just be still and listen. Like after I experienced COVID, my body would shut down. It would go to sleep when it wanted to. It would wake up when it wanted to, and it would be the same time every day. And if I do not give it the right amount of water, it will not perform. You know, it speaks. Our body speaks to us, and food is medicine. It's not the thing you put in the middle of the table to be socializing with. Food is medicine, and I believe, this is my position, as soon as we get to the understanding that food is our medicine. The first thing I ate after I was sick with COVID was lettuce. And you would have thought it was, I don't know, some expensive piece of steak, like people that would spend a lot of money for and enjoy. The lettuce was so, it was incredible. I felt so strange until I started craving cucumbers and things like that. And so my body gets excited now when I give it foods that are alive, that when I don't cook the food. So I've learned a lot from, and I was down, I couldn't breathe, I was getting ready to die. And my son, who other people told not to come, like what's this man's name next to you, honey?
Bishara.
Okay. No, I don't know the names. Wilson, Gene. I don't know.
Yeah, he's just being a comedian. Don't take him seriously. I mean, take him seriously with what he's saying, but
no. He was saying that people were being discouraged for going to help other people. My son's father told him, and his family told him, don't go help her. You know, and I didn't have anybody. He came, thank God, and he came equipped, and he is well, and now I am well because he came to help me. So what I'm saying is, I don't know anything about a conspiracy. I wouldn't put it past the government. I don't put anything past the government. However, I'm 60 years old right now, and I know that their power lies inside of me. And when I start addressing my health issues, when I start saying, I know it's not good to be obese, when I refuse metformin and I did a liver cleanse, and you know, things start to change when we take our power back. So they can do, I'm saying they, whoever they are, they can do what they're gonna do. However, there is power. Wu has taught us that there was power inside of us, and we need to connect to it. We need to be, it would benefit us if we were more responsible about how we govern ourselves. So I'm grateful for this morning. And there's a lot of information to glean from people who has had COVID and recovered from it. Like my son propped me up. I couldn't breathe. So he knew to prop me up. How this boy knew what he knew was all divine. Don't even get me started with that, how he came and really rescued me, how the herb lady dropped herbs off by my door and he took the herbs, she told him what to do with it, and they nursed me back to health. You go to the hospital, they feeding you. I had a friend, she went to hospital, she's on a machine. When she's not on the machine, she's eating. You don't give your body an extra duty when it's fighting for its life. You don't feed it, especially you don't feed it no macaroni and silly stuff like that. However, that's what I wanted to add to contribute to the conversation, is we have the power to govern ourselves in a way that we can be well. And if God is allowing me to still be here, and it looks like he is, then I have work to do. So with that, I am complete.
Thank you.
Sweetness, we are so glad that you are here. We are so glad to hear your story. We are so glad that you battled through. We are so glad that your son came and was divinely, instructed as to how to keep you here. And your story is beautiful and one of power. And with our health, it's easy to take it sometimes for granted. When it's there, we're not really thinking about it until it's gone. And then we realize, oh, shoot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I had folks who were out of breath walking from their bedroom to the bathroom, 10, 15 feet, like literally. And we were able to help them out, like I say, using natural methods. And just to kind of go into it.
I just want to say this, and then we have to do another question.
Let's continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with what Sweetness was saying as well, again, this is about, I believe, patient-centered medicine. Sometimes, people will come to us, I'm like, you need to go. And when people come to us, they have to, by New York State law, have, seen a Western medical doctor. We're supposed to say that. This isn't, this is the good side. This is the bad side. This is about the individual and their health and what they may need at a particular time. There are things that we can help people with that, Western medicine, we are able to pick things up on a more subtle level. And there are things that they can do and save people's lives that we can't do. No one person, no one system has the answer. And that's why it's very important for it to be patient-centered and that the care be what that person needs and it not be limited to one set, but for it to be open, because we're dynamic as individuals. And so there are different things that we may need at a particularly given time. And so the system, the Western medical system, the health system needs adjusting. But as long as we can stay focused on the person and their needs at that time, I think that, it tends to go much better.
And luckily, the Western medicine is also changing more, where acupuncture has actually been mandated. Yeah, acupuncture has been mandated to be in all of the hospitals, which is going to continue. Is mandated to be in all of the hospitals now. So you're going to see over the next year or two, if you haven't noticed already, integrative medicine centers popping up in every hospital across the country. That started as a response to the opioid crisis, where all of the studies show that acupuncture, massage, nutrition, yoga, meditation, and all were actually more effective for back pain than the opioids, the drugs that people were taking. So it's actually been mandated. So, and just as doctors of acupuncture and Chinese medicine and East Asian medicine, or any natural-based medical system, it's a patient-centered sort of thing. So when folks come to us, it's not we're treating a disease, we're treating the person regardless of what the disease name is. And so if someone comes to us with high blood pressure, with diabetes, with kidney issues, with heart issues, we're looking at the, all of your signs and symptoms, the root. What is your health history? What is your family history? What was going on when you were in the womb? Because all of this plays a part. What is your lifestyle? And we go through all of your different systems. And from there, we create like a working diagnosis that's specific to you. So you can have, for example, a whole family of folks coming in. And I know we're talking about COVID, but I'll just use the example of, say, digestive issues. With, in terms of someone goes, say, just to the hospital or whatever, they might just get a medication, or over the counter, you got the pink stuff, or an antacid or something like that. Where if someone has digestive issues, one person might have a nervous stomach. They're kind of high stress, high strung. Whenever they get high strung, they feel their stomach is upset. Their sister might eat a lot of burgers and fries and cakes and cookies, a lot of rich, sweet, fatty foods. That's throwing their digestive system off. Then the brother, he's a healthy, super health nut. So he eats nothing but cold food, raw salads, frozen smoothies, and that coldness has messed up his digestive system. For all three of them, they have digestive issues, but for the first person, we want to make sure that in addition to the underlying the root on their digestive issues, the underlying cause, the root cause might be their stress. And so we'll have to deal with that. Then the next person, we have to make sure we change their diet, get them off of those sweet and greasy foods in addition to taking care of the digestion. The third person is like, you may need to be eating more sauteed vegetables, more stews, as opposed to eating and drinking all of these frozen smoothies. Three, one condition, three different root causes.
So, yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to come back.
Okay.
We got so much.
Cool.
We got things we didn't get to. Sister Cassie. Classic Cassie.
Well, let's see, Sister Martine. Did she put her question in, or is your? Okay, go ahead. Oh, you got the question.
Yeah, she's got her hand up, and then we'll come back.
Okay.
Your Sister Cassie.
Peace and blessings. I just love and adore the two of you so much. And I do agree with the concept of, our medical system has to be restructured and being open-minded, especially to the medicine natural. But I also want to comment too of the benefits the two of you have provided. I know, I contacted you and said I had cyst in my breast, and I had so many mammograms the whole year, and I did stick to what you told me to do. And the last mammogram I went to, they said, oh, it's so little, we can barely see it. Mm-hmm. And I was so excited. I said, wow. But not only what you provided to me, but also whole wellness, releasing what doesn't serve me, right? Being more in tune with my body when I'm stressed, breathing, all those different things. So that's why I just want to share that testimony with everyone. I just love you too. And then also one of my doctors, a lot of doctors force medicine. It's not patient-centered care. But one of my doctors gave me the best advice. It was an old white lady. She told me, you're enough, sit your ass down, get 30 minutes of sun every day, and eat more plant-based. And that lady saved my, and she wrote me, I'm no longer at that toxic work environment, but she sent me a note for me to be out of work for 20 weeks, and I ain't never go back. But just also whole wellness and, just your body, listen to your body, and patient-centered care, what herbs works best for you. And some Western medicine may work for you, but also listening to your body and understanding what works, and communication. Always, as a doula, I say, write your questions down. All right. And if they're not able to answer your questions, you give them a paper. All right. And if they ask something, say, is it medically necessary? And also, if I have a patient and say, oh, can you take my blood pressure? And they say no, say, well, please put that in my medical record that you said no to take my blood pressure. So also being an advocate for yourself. So peace, love, and light. And I just love the two of y'all.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to hear
Appreciate
that.
It. Our pleasure to serve. Our pleasure to serve. This is what we do this work for,
Yes, beautiful.
All right. So Sister Martine.
Yeah.
I think you're back.
Hello. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we hear you now.
Okay, good. Let me get somewhere. Let me pause for a second. I was driving. I'm sorry. Okay, I was just asking for some clarity on what you said about the vaccine and the CDC claims. Because what I thought I heard is that it's not able to prevent COVID-19.
Yes, it's the CDC director, Wallaby, I forget her name, but again, she said that the objective of the CDC, and I watch her updates, is to prevent hospitalization and also to prevent death, and that the vaccine does not prevent getting infected or infecting other people, and to continue being safe, whether it's the social distancing and the mask, and not thinking that it's a cure. I mean, she didn't say cure, but people have taken on the attitude that the vaccine is the cure and it stops you from getting infected, where the goal, it doesn't prevent infection, but if you do get infected, It attenuates the symptoms in terms of it won't be as harsh, and folks will, for the most part, not end up in the hospital or dead. And
that's
also,
important.
right, and also that the booster shots are coming up pretty much probably next month, October, November, because the people that were vaccinated first, nursing homes and healthcare workers in March, have decreased immunity from the vaccine, and especially to the Delta variant. And so the booster shot for those that are vaccinated is going to be needed because it's not protecting people. The percentage, it started at 90%, now it's down to 80, 70, 60%. And I think for the Delta variant, it's around like 50% effective, and which is the main one that folks are worried about now. The vaccine was for SARS-CoV-2 from last year, and now we have all of these variants. And the vaccine, it does have protection, but definitely not as much. So.
Okay, I just wanted to speak on that for a second, not as an advocate for the vaccine either way. That's something I don't speak on as far as putting my personal opinion out there, but just speaking on what I know as a nurse from the CDC. And I encourage everybody, especially, reading the chat, to do your own due diligence. I'm loving, this is probably the only thing that you guys have said that I have question on, because, I'm Caribbean, and there's a lot of times as a nurse, especially when I was a home health nurse, I'll give you an example. I would see a child burning up with fever and watching them suffer and watching having to hospitalize them because I have to follow a certain protocol, when I know simply if I just have everybody pee in a bucket and dump the baby in the bucket, that breaks the fever.
Wow, I learned something.
Coming from, I've seen this happen. I remember we were in a situation where we thought this baby was going to go into seizure. An auntie of mine was babysitting, and the ambulance was taking forever to come. Nobody had a car. I was a kid, and she made me pee in a bucket. And I said, why? Not a bucket, like a basin. And she made all the kids she was babysitting pee. And we watched that fever break, and the baby was crying and carrying on like nothing happened. So I just want to put forth that disclaimer.
Wow.
But so my understanding and what I was taught,
Martine, just the children or the adults also?
The adults also. It depends.
Adults also.
You're trying to get enough there to submerge the child. So it's not about the children. Yeah, there's a lot. I know people who take a shot of urine every morning.
Yeah.
There's certain things I believe. I won't go that far, but
no, it is a therapy. They do that a lot in India.
Yes. Okay. So you're aware. Yeah, they have a whole national panel and everything, international panel rather. No, but I say all that to say, just where I stand. But what my understanding is, the vaccine is put forth out there and approved for primary prevention, so it can prevent the COVID-19. I just want to make that clear, because with everybody, like you said, I respect individuality. Cassie brought so much to the conversation about patient. Well, she built on what you said, Danett, about patient-centered care. And, everything has to be a personal decision, but I just want to make sure that the education is out there. So my understanding as a nurse, that it is the COVID-19, just like the flu vaccine, is meant to prevent COVID-19. Like you said, this thing is mutating, and also we're in the beginning stages, so we don't know. The vaccine is not perfect, but as far as it reducing hospitalization and death, absolutely. But the intention of the vaccine is to prevent it. It just may not be working in everybody. And of course, we're still doing research to find out why that is. But the reason why vaccinated people are also able to spread, the main reason, it could also be, is because of just the logistics of the vaccine. You got to remember, it's a small particulate. That's like when you go to the store and they put up the plexiglass. A lot of people say, well, what does that do? If it's a particulate, then it can go around the plexiglass, right? But it's all to reduce the risk. So because it's a particulate, it can still be on your hands. right? That has nothing to do with the vaccine being on your body. So that's what they're saying when they're saying that it can spread. It could still be in your nasal cavity and not have gone inside, all the way inside of you yet. And then you sneeze. So that's how it can spread. And that's why they're saying to continue to wash your hands and wear masks and whatever. And then, of course, also for the unknown. So I don't know if you guys are understanding what I'm saying, but I just wanted to make sure that that was clear.
Yeah, I mean, we thank you for sharing that. You know, when we first came on, we talked about our scope, you know, which is doctors of traditional Asian medicine and Chinese medicine.
Don't say just, ma'am.
So we're not here, no, but that's not our, you know, that's not what we're not here to like say, yay vaccine, nay vaccine. All we're saying is that it's important for each of us to make sure that we're doing all that we can to keep ourselves as healthy as possible because of the different factors that still aren't known about. And so I don't know if you want to say more about that, but it's not, you know, like my whole point is that we need everything and it's about the person. So it's not I don't feel like anybody is like at the point where it's like, no, I don't need that. No, I don't need this. You know, I just feel like we have to think about the person and their cost benefit ratio and what is good for that person.
And everything is about the patient. You know, it's not it used to be, it seemed like, but now things are changing. This kind of us versus them mentality. And people still even have it like us versus the medical system, where I've shadowed medical doctors in the hospital and seen, thankfully, folks being brought in dire situations and being balanced or what's the word I'm looking for? Just like regulated. Sorry, the exact word is skipping my mind right now. But someone being like, for example, a person was brought in and they had, I think their blood pressure was like 225 over like 180, hyperventilating. They were getting prepared to intubate just in case they passed out from all the hyperventilation. And the doctor gave them, I think 2 squirts of nitroglycerin under his tongue. And they did some other things. And 20 minutes later, the guy, his blood pressure was at, he was stabilized. That's the word I'm looking for. His blood pressure was 140 over 90. I tell people in a situation like that, don't bring them to my house. Don't go to the hospital. And once they're regulated, sure, that's when we can begin to do some of the things that we do. And even again, with med surgery, it all has its place. It's just not the only solution, which gets into, you know, again, what we do is personalized medicine. And so I know like my intake, Danett intake, you know, like an initial evaluation sometimes takes about 2 hours or more before we even decide on like the treatment plan, because we have to go through, and in the conversation, a lot of things come up that folks may not think is significant or is normal for them because it's what they experience every day, but it's not something normal that you should be experiencing in your health. You know, I have folks that are being like, yeah, you know, I move my bowels 3 times a week, but that's normal for me. Mm-hmm. You know, I get headaches. I get headaches almost every day, but you know, that's kind of normal for me. It lasts about 10, 15 minutes and ... And so there's a root reason of why that's occurring. And so that's where we come in as professionals to help people to balance that out and to reach their health goals.
Yes, and so as to like the specifics for the vaccines, we'll just keep, you know, what I think Bishara was saying also is to go to the CDC and read for yourself and don't just, you know, take, you know, what you see somebody might be saying on Facebook or, you know, how someone has interpreted this or that, to go and stay informed yourself. Is that?
Yeah, that, and really one of my main focuses also is just understanding that if you have underlying conditions, it's something that you want to take care of. Like to me, like I say, a lot of folks were sick already, and COVID was like the straw that broke the camel's back for a lot of folks that ended up being hospitalized or dying. All the folks I know personally, who folks were hospitalized, when I would give them condolences, they would say, yeah, he's kind of been in and out the hospital for years. It wasn't like someone who was just in great health that got COVID and passed. Like, I didn't see that at all. Some folks might have been hospitalized, or some folks might have had bad signs and symptoms, but they were able to recover. Like, I dealt with a lot of people last year that got COVID and were able to recover or had mild signs and symptoms. And so, that's why I say each person is personalized and we treat them, but like just according to the studies. But then when, the statistics that I gave earlier around how many people had high blood pressure and all of those sorts of things. And when we look at our communities, like, for example, we're in East New York, in Brooklyn, and, I'm born, bred, and raised here. And there's that old saying that, when the white man catches the cold, Black people get the flu. So I guess when white people get the flu, we got COVID. Now, if they get COVID, one of our folks get it. And so when we look at the rates, say in East New York, of obesity, it's 35% of the people. And when I say East New York, you can say East New York, you can say Brownsville, you can say Bed-Stuy, you can say the South Bronx, you can say East Flatbush, pretty much anywhere where our folks live in the hood has similar statistics to this. The rate of obesity here is 35%, where we said people that were hospitalized had a 30%, and obese and hospitalized had a 30% higher chance of dying. Diabetes in East New York is 14% of the people. Hypertension is 34% of the people, and all of those are way higher than the average in New York City. The life expectancy in our neighborhood is 2.6 years shorter.
Yeah, we're trying to move y'all.
Of NYC.
We're trying to get up here.
Yeah. So, it's just, again, we want to make sure that we're taking care of our health and really taking responsibility for our own health. And where a medication may help to stabilize and keep you within a certain range, you still want to do things to make sure that you're boosting your health. Again, with the sleep, with the proper diet, with herbs. On Monday, we spoke about herbs in my website, and we have a special going on there for folks here with Wake Up Everybody. We call herbs the forgotten food. There are all sorts of things in herbs, your roots and barks and berries and leaves and stems, and the plants and trees and bushes growing outside of your house, or just walking around that you may not think about, that are medicine that you wouldn't really consume as part of your regular diet, and they actually contain natural medicines to help us to get better.
Yes. We're going to take one more question before we wrap up. Yeah. Yeah, we did. So we have a question from, is it Cherie? I saw the name.
Was there a question?
Oh, yes, here's Grand Rising.
Thank you so much for this wonderful information, the way that you're presenting it. I love you both, and I'm so grateful for you. So what I just wanted to say, that in this whole thing, the blame game, it doesn't work. It's not fruitful. It's not loving. It's not healing. And in this space for myself, I know I had it. I'm sure I had it. And when I had it, I just leaned into my body, like, what do you need? And, I did what I could do, and I made it through. And I believe in my body's ability to heal. And I just want to say that I think for all of us, whatever it is, if you believe it will work, it will work. It also goes for medications. But if you can remove yourself from the fear of dying, because that's what it seems like at the end of the road, that's what it is. And it's like, hey, y'all, I got a secret. we're all going to. So it's like, we can only usurp the inevitable, but so much. So, I'm just really focused on what I can do. And I'm not letting, for myself, I have divorced the boogeyman of contracting it. Like, it's just not a mindset that I can afford to adopt in this space. So I just encourage our family to just live your life. Your life is to be lived. The fear is another thing that is lowering your immune system.
That's right.
Just believe in your body. Yeah. Look at the tree. I often want to say, because I know a lot of us have spirituality, have religion, whatever it is that you lean into for your edification, for your spirit. And I look around and I'm like, since when did the Most High fail us? You think the Most High was like, I'm like, wipes its hands and it's like, I'm done with, these humans, they're ridiculous. I'm gone, I'm out. Like, that's not what's happening. The divine still sits on the throne. And you look around, look at the trees. Those are our lungs. Like the grand architect's designs are not flawed. We have what we need. Lean into that, y'all. Lean into that. And yes, food is so integral. And I do practice Shivambu, urine therapy. And it is, I think it's one of the components of what helped heal me. So I just wanted to say that. And again, I thank everyone here for being honest and open and loving. And I love you both and I wish you all the best.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We've had conversations about coming back because there's a whole lot we didn't even get to. So
I think so.
Thank you
right,
so
thank
much.
you.
You're welcome, guys.
All right.
You're welcome.
All right, so where's our
wonderful host?
Our peoples? Slide.
Sister Tiffany or Cheryl?
They ready.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank y'all
we're
for
still-
rocking with us. I know it's like 47 minutes later, so thank y'all for that. And we didn't even get to everything, but maybe we'll be back.
We do this all day. You're like, chill, we here.
All right. So we have special offers going on. We have the detox that's still happening for those people who are here on Monday. If you're interested, you could email me, Dr. Danett at drdanettbean.com. And for the next 24 hours, you have access to the Healthy Mamas Report, Family Wellness with me. It's a recording. And so I dug into crates. I did it like a few weeks back and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pull it out. So for the next 24 hours, you can access it by going to that link. And yeah, it's just information. It's just a recording on things to think about that can help to improve wellness for your family for this upcoming school year. And once you're sign up for that, because I'm beginning to do monthly Healthy Mama reports, then you'll also be notified of the one for September, because that was from August. Yes, and you have one as well. Oh, my contact information, yes. So yeah, this is how you can reach me. Email is best, Dr. Danett at drdanettbean.com. That's the quickest way usually to get me. Phone, you see my number there, 718-789-2289, or you can, text is good, but email is the best because then I can keep up a bit better with that. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and if you just go to my link tree, it's got pretty much all the other info. Plus I got a YouTube channel, so that's on the link tree as well.
Everything. Yes, everything.
Dr. B.
All right, so my special offer, a case review evaluation discounted by 10%. So when you call and speak, just say you heard about me on, or you heard about us on Wake Up Everybody, and I'll give you a nice discount on that. And that website there, that's my booking software. You can book yourself in for a case review evaluation. And you know, you can, if you want to even just kind of have a brief conversation just to discuss your health goals. You can even sign up there for a free initial evaluation, which is, just us touching base to see what's going on and how to proceed with the full case review evaluation. So it's at newyorksports.genbook.com. New York Sports Acupuncture is the name of my business. So yeah. And from there, we do like a full personalized evaluation and really get down to the root of anything that's going on so we can help you reach your health goals. Toll-free number, always wanted that from a child. 888-375-5444 is my answering service. Just leave a message with them and I'll get that. You can check me out on Facebook at New York Sports Acupuncture. Instagram at Dr. Bishara Wilson. That's where most of my stuff is. You can see a lot of cool videos and posts on a lot of the herbs that have been helping folks with last year, actually going through all of the formula herbs, herb by herb, explaining what it is. So it's nice education. And you can also contact me at info@nysportsacu.com. And my flow page at the bottom is kind of like the holding page for all of my sites, including my herbs website, manifestherbs.com, where we still have, if you missed on Monday, you can go to the link to the flow page and find my website there, the 15% off. So wake up 15, the number 15, wake up 15, and we still have 15% off the entire site for everybody here until the end of today. So go ahead on and thank you for the folks that have actually already placed orders. Your stuff is going out today. And yes, so thank you.
All right, and upcoming tomorrow, join us Thursday, September 9th, 2021 for Spiritual Circle of Healing.
Facilitated by Mama Amal Muhammad.
Yes. Wow.
Tune in.
It's always
she looked like she knows she's.
No, but I'm saying it's always powerful. I feel like this week, Sunday, yesterday, it's always. Yeah.
Yes, it's been a very powerful week. All of the information, like I was sitting here on Amazon looking up the nasal pod and just looking up urine therapy. Listen, you share information here and then, it's just the seed being planted. It's what you do with that seed that helps you grow your own knowledge. So with that being said, let's welcome all the new members to the Woo Nation. If today is your first day in the space, please drop it in the chat. We want to recognize you for coming to join us in a community where we choose to learn, elevate, and ascend. This is the Wake Up Everybody schedule. We are live on Zoom and on Facebook 5 days a week. Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 7 to 8:30. Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 7:30. You can catch us live streaming. And if you'd like notification when it is time to check in and log on to those streams, please text the word Woo Nation to 74121. Have you ordered your Woo swag yet today? We have face masks, t-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, and of course the water bottle. Let me tell you about this water bottle. I've been drinking this water bottle with a block of ice in it for 2 days now. This water bottle is the truth. Like it just I just keep adding more water and letting the ice melt down, but I love my water cold and this water bottle is the truth. I don't know why it took me so long to get one, but I'm glad when I finally did, I was able to support the Woo community. Thank you, everyone. Here's how you stay in touch with us. You can register at bit.ly/wakeupmovement. Find us on Facebook at bit.ly/Woo community. On Instagram at Wake Up Everybody Virtual. On YouTube at bit.ly/Woo on YouTube. And last and certainly not least, you can email us at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. At this time, I ask everyone to come off of mute. It is time to rain love and abundance on Doctors Danett and Bishara for the information they've been providing us this week. Thank you so much. We love you. That's why we're here. And It's been a pleasure to work with you today. Thank you, everybody. Come off of mute.
Yes.
Thank you,
Everybody.
Dr.
So very much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for the awesome
Very
information,
Appreciate the
the
input.
truly
blessing,
appreciate
Thank
what
you.
you
the
do.
Thank you.
Time of
insight,
day.
the focus,
Thank you.
the
Thank
question,
you.
Media
Thank you,
and
CBC,
more
doctor.
thank
information
you
that
for
we
having
need.
time.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Powerful
doctor.
Coupling
Really
our
appreciate
support
the
everybody.
Time.
two of
information
you,
that you
our
Helping y'all. I
shared.
love y'all
attitude.
so
Confirmation.
For
much.
doing
You
what
We are
you're
confirmed a
doing.
lot of the
blessed.
things that I saw.
Thank
And
you.
I like
Love
the
Thank
y'all.
you.
people
Yes.
Thank
I
you
love
from the
posted.
y'all.
You know,
Y'all
bottom
Black
of
got
my
this.
heart.
situation is just
Yes, yes,
wonderful.
You
yes.
know we've
You know,
got
it's
you.
just on a
Thanks for
whole
the
Thank you,
different
support, everybody.
sisters.
level.
Thank
So
you,
thank you.
doctors.
Thank you,
For
sir.
giving us
Thank you,
extra
family.
time. I appreciate
Thank you,
y'all
Thank
for that.
you.
village.
We
Thank
want it.
Blessings.
We
you.
want this information. We want to be
Thank you.
well. We
Yes,
want to be
yes.
We
well.
are
We
well. We are powerful. We are
want it.
strong.
We
Thank
want
you.
change. That's why we
Thank
stayed here,
you.
because we wanted change.
Thank
We
you so
didn't
very much.
want the change. What you gave us was healing. Thank you very, very much. Love it.
Yes, yes.